See, okay. Yay!
We're live. Woo!
2 weeks in a row.
Look at that. It's a new record.
I don't know about
New
that.
record.
I don't know about that. All right, dude. This is great. Look at us. All your Texas friends are going to be about 10 minutes late. My mom will be on in 20 minutes, or she'll text me afterwards and say, I forgot about the show. That's what my mom likes to do to me.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks,
It is.
Mom.
It is.
Oh, man. Where is everybody?
I know, right? Hey, there's Dan.
I'm here. Hey, Dan. Welcome.
Right on time. Not fixing his ceiling fan this time. Dan's on, hanging out with us here on the Twitches. And what, Facebook? What else? We stream on everything still, right?
Yeah. I haven't consolidated, but I feel like we're gonna start leaning towards Twitch.
Just got to support that Jeff Bezos money.
Yeah.
Lost a little bit of money.
One of the multimillionaires is gonna get the money, right? Yeah. Hey, Rolls. Thanks.
Oh wow! Holy cow, Rolls! Thanks for subscribing for 14 months. That's pretty awesome. Dan says, I was watching last week's episode at 1.5 speed and then suddenly everything slowed down. That's interesting.
Did we slow down? Was the video
slow down? The internet slow down? There was some technical difficulties. And maybe
right at the end, my camera I think that camera died. I'm using a different camera today. So
yeah, Rolls says it's $250 for us and $250 for the Amazons. Yeah, but Joe uses it to support his Amiibo habit.
That's right. Sort of.
We make negative dollars on this. This is a labor of love. Joe spends all the money. This is a labor of love.
And the Amico, it's in.
I almost tripped over it.
I invested in Amico, guys. You know, like I gotta.
I'm always thinking about that Amico. It's always there.
Oh man, let's kick these credits in. Let's do
it. Kick the credits. We got some good people on.
Let's roll. It is Tuesday night and another episode of the Mid-Geek Crisis, episode 165. Welcome, everyone. Has everyone survived the launch of Elden Ring? I feel like I am 100% that like Homer meme sitting at the bar. Everyone around me is just talking about and playing Elden Ring, and I'm just like,
it might be the first time you're like me, where I just sit there and go, yeah, just it's great. Talk about this game nonstop. That's me all the time. Cyberpunk, same way. All the games I don't play until well after they've been out there for a while.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like it wasn't even on my radar. Like I know people, nothing has made me feel as old as the Dark Souls series, the Dark Souls games, all of the From Software games. And they're just games that like would infuriate me, right? Like they're games that I feel like if I put any hours into or I attempted to play them, I would be too angry after. I would spend $60 on a brand new game. I'd play it and then I'd get angry and never load it up again.
That's exactly. Yeah. I mean, I like a good hard game, but those kind of third person roll out of the way of a scripted attack until you master every boss level. I don't got time for that shit. Like I really don't. I don't have time. I just don't. There are 1,000 other games I can play rather than try to get good at these games.
What's going on, Tim?
What's up, Tim? Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, no.
Dan, yeah, no. I actually should probably pay Elder Fit with the Ring Fit. I can stand to lose a little bit of I can stand to lose a little bit of that weight.
I don't know. I was watching a couple of videos of individuals that are new to the Souls,
to the genre.
One person asked, was like, hey, so like can you play the game without rolling and looking like an idiot? I just feel like every footage I watch is like people rolling, Just
It's
roll.
the best dodge in the game.
It's the best dodge. It's like best dodge. Apparently, you don't have to. Apparently, there's ways you can use a shield, and there's like as long as you got a shield that's got the right stats or whatnot.
It's an open world game. It seems to be very well designed. There are no gates. People are exploring every different way. I've got 2 challenges with it that I don't know that I'll ever play it. You can't pause it.
There's no pause?
There's no pause because you're online all the time.
I thought it was just an open world. I didn't know it was online. Do you actually interact with people?
You can interact. People can help you. I guess people can help you in some fights, and you can put messages as you go through to help other people. So there'll be like ghosts of it's just like Dark Souls. Ghosts of previous runs will be there on the screen for you and things like that. And they can.
So I need to know what is making this game this hyped. Like, is it just because George Martin wrote it?
Yeah, there you go. People can help you. There's also trolls who tell you how to jump off the bridge, right? So,
right. I mean, is this what's different about this than the next Dark Souls game?
Well, I mean, it's the next gen Dark Souls game. That's a huge deal, right? Think about Grand Theft Auto. The next gen Grand Theft Auto is a big deal. No matter what I mean, I guess what is your big deal game? What's your? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
You're like, oh, I can't wait to get the new retro release of Super Mario Brothers. That you don't even know.
That's not it. I know that this is a big deal. I know this game has been in the works for a long time, but I'm looking at this video and it looks pretty. Don't get me wrong. And there is a sense of FOMO of me not playing this game. I just and I'll probably pick it up if I can pick it up on sale. As a matter of fact, I had to go pick up some dinner last night. I ran some errands. I swung by to pick up some dinner, and it was gonna be like 10 minutes. So there was a GameStop around the corner, and I walked in and I go, as I'm waiting, I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, has anyone traded in a copy of Elder Ring? Because I know it's one of those games that it's hard enough that people will be like, fuck it, right and trade it in immediately. He goes, no, we haven't got one of those. We did get a copy of Horizons in, and it's already we sold it earlier today. And I was like, oh man. He says the guy that traded in said he was bored.
Oh, all right. Well, can't please everyone. What's up, Stadium Arts?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
I appreciate it. Thank you. No, so again, it's a game that just I feel like it has all the right pieces.
Yeah.
That make me want to play it. But I know that as soon as I invest the $60, $70 into this game, I'm going to play it and I'm going to get really angry at it. And I'm not going to want to play it anymore.
Yeah, there's no pause button. And someone was like, oh, you can collect herbs and craft. And I was like, nope, done. I am done with all games that require crafting.
Really?
Any sort. I'm a fantasy demon destroying god. And they expect me to stop with my big giant sword and amazing shield that's destroyed demons and pick some flowers so I can make a potion. It makes no sense to me. It's rare that I'll use the immersion argument, but it drives me bat insane.
I know.
Also, I'm one of those compulsive gamers. I can't stop but go ahead and collect it, right? Like I just can't. I can't not do it. Yep.
Yeah. I also remember one of the other mechanics that I hate, that I know that you hate, and this is where we're on the same page, is when there is a constant mechanic that you have to do. Like a good example was the Arkham games.
Yep.
You're Batman, and to get from room to room, you usually have to go through like air ducts or gates.
Press X to proceed,
and then press X to proceed. But then you have to press it multiple times. What are you not going to do? Is he not going to open up this gate? Like, is there not eventually like
Batman? They'd be like, no, I can't stop the Joker because of this gate.
Batman's getting ripped off the hinges. And why do I have to pray? What immersion is that giving me?
Low stakes mini games are boring as hell. I don't know why they put it in there. It's the Red Dead Redemption. Press A to attach wagon wheel, and you're like, well, what if I don't want to? Oh, you have to.
You have to.
All right, fair enough.
But why did someone spend their time coding that? It's just add the damn wagon wheel. Just do the thing and let me move on. So yeah, it's the same thing, right? Like I am said adventure with a giant sword and a mount and a giant shield, and I'm freaking glowing from every orifice because I'm a god, but yet I still have to pick elderberries.
Yeah, I'm on my way. I'm on my way from having destroyed one god to the blacksmith so I can upgrade my sword. I hate it. Drives me nuts. Hate it so much. Then see here. More like press A to streaming assets from the dead.
Yeah.
Is that still a problem? It's 2022, but yeah, no, you're right. It still is a problem.
Not with the
Dark Souls
PS5
2.0.
SSD.
I mean,
No.
is it 4.0? Is it? I mean, this is like a next level, right? Like the people that coded horse testicles. Well, Rolls, those people were scientists, right? They never paused to wonder if they should. They just did, right? They just had to do it. Let's get those horse testicles in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no pause button. That's enough for me not to pick it up. I can't play a game without a pause button. I like State of Decay 2. I play that with my brother a lot. The fact that it has no pause button drives me insane. I get why they did it, right? They want that tension, but going into your inventory and being attacked by a zombie is no fun for me. I want to be able to pause it for a minute because I'm an old man who has a child who's going to interrupt my gaming time. Sorry, everyone. But Elden Ring isn't for me, right? This is the Mid-Geek crisis, everyone. This is about us having been raised with video games. Our pacifiers were Nintendo controllers.
And I mean, again,
at the end of that life cycle,
I'm not saying I won't pick it up eventually. I'm gonna pick it up on a sale.
You're gonna pick it up eventually, yes.
I'll pick it up on a sale.
Box, put it on the shelf, never open it.
Yeah,
You'll open it. You just won't play it.
But I mean, not like that game has like the full code, right? Like it's just a download code, right? Like we've established this. A game that big has no completed game on it. You have to be online to play it anyway, right?
No, you can. Apparently, folks have already made a mod where you can disconnect yourself from online and pause it. So you have to download a PC mod to actually pause your game.
No shit. Of course they did.
Because it's a single player game that's online, so you can cheat, right? You can mod your PC version, but then you can't connect online.
So I'm wondering if anyone has already replaced, like, because I know they do it all the time on all the Dark Souls games. Has anyone replaced one of the bosses with like a giant Shrek or something yet?
It's coming. It's coming. I imagine people are first getting used to beating it. They want to figure out which is the best boss to turn into Shrek, right?
That's right. Fair enough. And
it should all be Shrek.
Giant naked guy running around. Yeah.
Yeah, this one guy was offline and was still getting invaded. Oh, all right, there you go.
So the invasions are still like coded, like they're.
I guess so. That's brutal. That's brutal. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like many of our folks here are playing the Elden Rings, right? Because they're rocking their, I don't know, Steam Decks. What are you guys doing?
I know, right? Well, I mean, everyone is waiting on their Steam Deck to play.
Yo, look at that gorgeous
to play Elden Ring.
Play Elden Ring. Is that what's on?
Yeah, that's what's on it.
Wait,
and it does run
Elden Ring. That's a pretty impressive handheld.
Elden Ring can play it. It can play it on the Steam Deck. I have mine pre-ordered. By the way, if you're not familiar, the Steam Deck is a PC handheld. It is the next big thing. It is the Steam's next big like push, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it, baby. It's disrupting the console makers. They've been very transparent in the way that this thing works, the specs, the way to upgrade it, the parts that can be replaced, user replaceable batteries and parts inside of it. You're going to be able to order new analog sticks and new buttons directly from iFixit and Valve directly.
Oh gosh.
They've got instructions already on how to tear down. They put up a teardown before it came out. It's just tiny text. Yeah, I'm sure. Again, it's an interesting handheld for sure. It's already kind of the best emulator too. Like
it reminds me. It looks ugly, Dan. I agree with you. It reminds me of the old what is the Sega one? The giant Sega.
It's like a Game Gear.
It reminds me a little bit of the Game Gear.
Maybe it's a little bit bigger than a Game Gear, but yeah. But it's got, it's already got the largest game store available, right? So if you're unfamiliar, it doesn't run Windows. It runs like a custom version of Arch Linux. That's the Steam OS. And a lot of these games were coded for Windows, right? So they have been using like an engine to kind of wrap the Windows games to work on Linux. And that can be a performance hit, right? Like,
sure.
So what does that cost? But brand new games like Elden Ring can play on it. So
that's amazing, man. That's really Valve moved to Arch. Is that the question?
Yeah. So they've got an Arch Linux, a smaller Arch Linux distro on it, from my understanding, and it's got an SD card slot. It's got an NVMe SSD slot on it.
Very nice.
So you can upgrade. It's user upgradable internal, user upgradable external. They tell you shouldn't upgrade the internal, but they said here's how to do it anyway.
Yeah, well, why not? Go ahead, break your box.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things.
That's good. That's a really forward-thinking attitude.
That's right. Just like the Mister. So it's a really, really cool handheld, but it's also a PC. If you've got a gaming PC on your desk, you can be in home and you can stream to it. You know, with Steam.
Can I connect to my Xbox Live account and get my Chivos on my Steam Deck?
Not yet, but from the interviews, he's not against it. There's going to be some licensing involved and get that running, and eventually, if Microsoft,
it doesn't run Windows, so I can't put the Windows apps on it. Is that that's the challenge?
Again, it is a PC, and there are instructions, but the drivers aren't out yet on how to load Windows on it. So if you wanted to do like a dual boot and install Windows on it,
install Windows on it though.
Yes.
So hey, Brandon, thanks for jumping on.
What's going on? Yeah, that's one of the big pushes, right?
Thanks for jumping on.
You're going to be able to install Windows on it. And then once you're on Windows, you can run Steam directly through Windows. And then also you'll have the Xbox app running in the background.
See,
and
I like
you can
that.
then load up your Game Pass or load up your Game Pass games. So again, it's infinite possibilities with what you can and can't do.
And it's nicely priced. I mean, like
$399. All three versions of the hardware, by the way, are the same processor and memory. The only difference is the storage goes up incrementally per price, and then the $599 model, the highest end one, has like a anti-glare coating on the screen. That's about it. But again, all three of them have this. They're the same exact motherboard, same exact hardware, minus the SSD, and the SSD is user replaceable.
See, I can get behind that.
Yeah, and I mean that's really
it
cool.
sounds like a hobby. Specialization says, and just have it set to boot to Steam Big Picture mode. At least that's what I used to do at handheld Win PCs. So there you go. Yeah.
So immediately,
Brandon's asking, would the Epic Store and NVIDIA work on it?
I mean, I don't see why not, right?
You'd have to mod it probably. Or
no, I think that's it. I mean, Valve has been very open about this particular device being just a PC, and at the same time, when it's running the Steam OS and their version of it, it's kind of encapsulated in their own experience. But whatever you want to do with it, you can, and they're going to have their operating system ready to go as an install so that you can.
So you can build a highway right next to their walled garden to go somewhere else.
Yeah, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Then just buy the $400 version and buy your own 512 SSD from Microsoft. Yeah, Brandon, I think you've unlocked the code that Joe's going to use.
That's exactly it. I mean, the NVMe slot inside of it, when you look at the teardown, is a smaller form factor. So those aren't as common, but early reviews have already tried. Like, for example, just dropping an SD card, which is technically slower storage. They haven't noticed any major slowdowns on playing their games off of it.
That's awesome. The big question for the cautious household, Joe, and I hope you can answer this: will it run Civilization 6 at the highest settings?
Civ 6 is already
the only Steam game I play.
It has a touch screen on it, and eventually there will be a dock, right? So the idea is that you buy this, you're playing it, you dock it, and it's a PC.
And you can play on the PC. That's pretty amazing. I love it. Oh, keyboard support, right? So even though
keyboard and mouse, controller,
Bluetooth
fantastic. Controllers, you want to sync up your Xbox controller, your PlayStation controller, your Switch controller, just kind of put it on like a kickstand kind of thing and play it that way, as opposed to playing it like this. You can totally do it.
And folks are getting it. It's not vaporware.
It's not vaporware.
It's not vaporware. It's not.
It was announced in July, which is the day that it came. Like the next day, they put up the pre-orders. I pre-ordered it, and it launched in February, end of February, last day of February. How amazing is that?
That's pretty amazing, actually, in this day and age.
In this day and age, that's pretty freaking amazing.
To launch something, it's like a Switch on roids, but with more functionality and more safe software capability. It's got a Ryzen 7 4700.
Yeah, it's got a Ryzen 7 4700, so it's essentially the same architecture as like a PS5.
Which, I mean, like, I was just complaining to Joe that I need a new computer. Should I just buy a Steam Deck?
No, so that's also the downside, right? Like, I mean, you could if you didn't use your PC for anything else, and you were just a PC gamer and you didn't care about. Let's say you had maybe a shitty laptop for word processing or whatever, then sure. But if you are, it is better as a complement to PC gaming. If you've got a pretty decent PC gaming machine, that's where you sit down and play. Let's say you wanted to play somewhere else. Your library that you already own.
Awesome. That part is the most appealing part to me. I mean, like, you know what I use my PC for,
right? Porn.
I've got an old iPad for that. That
That's
way
right.
you can't search for me, man.
Hey, it's in a Ziploc bag.
I don't even watch videos on my PC. Like that's how I pay my bills. I'm an old man. I don't.
Yeah, I know. You have the tab. They're one in the same. They're one in the same. I just wanted to let you know that
it is one of the same. I'm just like, oh, who am I going to play? But first, unzip.
Let's do a warm-up session first here before I invade. So yeah,
exciting. You guys older than me. It's not the age stadium; it is the mileage.
That's right. You can have a 2020 car with 100,000 miles on it.
That's exactly right. 34.
I'm in my 40s.
Yes, so. definitely above your age, but man.
Brandon's like, ouch. I'm in my 40s. Pedro's older than me by, what is it, 4 years?
4 years or 400 years. It doesn't matter.
What does it matter? We're old. We're old. We got kids. We got bills. We got, mileage, baby.
Yeah.
But yes, excited. So that's what happened last week. At the end of last week, something else happened at the end of beginning of last week. It was kind of not good news. We're kind of in the middle of a war, right? There's a global war going on.
I'm like, what gaming? Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. Right. And I normally wouldn't bring that kind of stuff up in here, but one of the big things that I wanted to bring up is that it is a disconnected war, right? Like we don't see the repercussions of it directly
yet.
Yet. I mean, eventually things like gas prices and economical hit will hit us because of our trade with Russia, oil, and all
Europe.
And Europe in general, just the EU in general. There's going to be repercussions. The trickle will happen slower to us than other countries, right? But one of the things that hits for me personally is one of the communities I'm part of. I'm big into the retro community, into the modding community. I've talked about the Mr. FPGA project here on I've got a video on our YouTube channel on how to kind of set one up from scratch.
Yep.
And a perfect example is I'm also big into just conservation of games, preservation of playing some of these games, being able to play the games you want to play on the hardware if you still own it. And one of the makers of flash carts. So if you're familiar, like the EverDrive, they're essentially carts with an SD card, load your ROMs onto it, plug it into your NES, into your SNES, that sort of thing. And one of the big makers is called Crix. And he is based out of Ukraine, man. Like he's right out there. I mean, he's sitting there developing stuff. And I mean, just this will put you right at home. Living in the basement so far, shooting his herd from time to time. Something in fire near to us. We are in hell.
Jesus Christ. So so
there's a baby crib back there. There's a bed, his wife, his kids. They're all living in his basement right now.
Where's his computer? I don't I shouldn't joke around. So, like at the core of this, we can laugh at the Ukraine memes. We can, watch the fake armor videos of the ghost of Kiev.
So if you say Kiev, so the way if you say Kiev, it's the Russian way to say it. The Ukrainian is Kiev. You add the extra syllable.
All right. So there you go. I now know how to spell it correctly. It's taken me 40 years to learn how to spell it. So this is personal, right? There are gamers in the Ukraine who are amongst us, right? They code, they write, they make mods, they do awesome stuff. And they're suffering under this war as well, right? So when you're laughing at those memes, also think about, be mindful of the folks that are actually affected by this war, right?
And not just that. Like I said, another individual that hit close to home was Sergey. He is another big
320, Stadium Arts mechanism, right?
Yep, there we go.
Oh, the SNES and the Saturn core. Wow, holy cow!
So he's creating a lot of the. He's working on the Saturn core. He did the SNES core for the Mr. Project. They're really big, important pieces of code that have been out there. Like he's done something that no other individual has done, and so like losing someone like that over something like an atrocity like this would be very painful to the community. It's just it's hurtful. I mean, he is definitely closer to it. I mean, his posts have been a lot more like
visceral, real.
Yeah,
sure.
So that said, I mean, just support what you can. Just be mindful that there are real people out there. When you watch the news and you see things, it's very easy to kind of disconnect yourself and say like, oh, that's on the other side of the world. That doesn't matter to us, really. Another side of it,
get wrapped up in screaming about our own thing, right? Being like, oh, Trump called this. Oh, Biden's the worst. Oh, this wouldn't have happened if the Republicans were in charge. But, like it is happening, and it is in Ukraine. And
what's going on, Rob? What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about just some developers and game hardware developers and engineers and stuff that are part of the retro community, part of the gaming community that are in the Ukraine that are affected right now because of this.
We got fellow gamers in trouble out there, right?
Fellow gamers in trouble. Another side of things has been this. Russia. Remember, not all Russians are bad, right? Like this is you have to understand that the people in Russia, there's a big percentage of individuals that do not support this war.
Sure.
But, they've got leadership that will do what they want to do. And a good example of this is the US sanctions, for example, have halted money.
Yep.
So there are game developers. There are businesses that are no longer getting imported and export business. Another example here, just how at home this hits, like OnlyFans, man. Like just I know it seems silly, but like there are workers out there that are like, they're like, by the way, we can't pull money from our accounts anymore. Like,
oh my gosh,
we've lost entire income because of this, and we laugh about it. It does. All life circles right back to it. Right?
Is this your first day on the internet? I'm just wondering. Not the OnlyFans. Not trying to make right. No, well, I mean you have to, and you right, as long as you understand, right? It is a shitty problem. I mean, everyone, they can't get paid because of these Swift accounts, because of all the sanctions going on. All right, and especially day 2. Welcome.
Again,
I'm glad you can spend the second day with us.
I guess the scenario is, I only bring that up because it's so funny how we think about things in a very distant way. But you'd be surprised, everyone's got to eat, everyone's got to work.
We're really integrated in this wild way, and a lot of that's because of the internet and
globalization in general, right? Like we're across the world, but on the internet, especially with communities, how tight niche they are, games and all that kind of stuff happens.
Oh yeah, no, Rob, we're not sex shaming at all.
No, that's exactly what I'm very pro towards that. Like, get that money, and that's one of the examples here that workers like that, they gotta pay bills, they've got mouths to feed, etc. And however they make their money, it's how they do it. But the idea is something like that, as simple as that. Have Twitch, for example. Anybody, if you're a Russian streamer,
can't take out
cut off. They can't pull money out.
Just to flip it, right? Think about how much soft power the United States has. I mean, I don't want to talk about Ukraine, but if we were committing some sort of war-like atrocity in, say, Afghanistan or Iraq, the world could not cut us off.
Yeah, it doesn't work the opposite way.
It doesn't work the opposite way. We can really push around other countries in this way. So it is a very powerful option that's not used lightly in this case, right? It's pretty wild. If only there was a market for old fat guys to cash in on.
Oh, right. I mean, what I'm saying is there's still OnlyFans.
Yes, there's still OnlyFans.
I'm just saying. We don't kick shame on here, and there is a market for everybody, buddy.
Let's do it, there. Brandon. Do it. Throw up the link if you do it.
Yeah, man. If you do it, throw it up there. We'll plug you. In more ways than one. Anywho.
I mean, I assume it's Warhammer 40K YouTube videos is the market for.
I know what the hammer is.
Wow, no, that's not nice. I should be nice. I play 40K. I got miniatures right back there.
We know where the hammer is, buddy. So speaking of atrocities in the world, on Saturday it was Pokemon Day.
Okay.
I don't know. I couldn't find a way to segue into that. On Saturday it was Pokemon Day. Let's bring it back around here.
Right, bring it back to video games. Bring it back to video games.
Saturday was Pokemon Day. They had a nice event, whatever. And a lot of people, it happened before I even woke up. Like, I slept in late on Saturday, And I woke up to this news, and I guess people were just expecting, there was some Pokemon Go updates and a couple of, things here and there, some DLC happening for some of the games that are already out there. And then, boom, out of nowhere, they announced the 9th generation of Pokemon. Like a new game coming out, Scarlet and Violet.
Scarlet and Violet, 2 nice colors together. The starters
what an interesting like color array, right? It's like not even.
I don't have any connection to Pokemon anymore.
We've got 3 starters.
That's a cute look. Is that Coco?
It's a Spaghettio. Spaghettio. I think it's supposed to be kind of like an Italian region or
What was the matter with Charmander?
Anyway, all of the memes have been great, of course.
Where's my Squirtle? Hashtag bring back Squirtle. I don't know.
He's still around. Everyone was calling this one, what is it? Weed Cat.
It's not SpaghettiOs? Is that
SpaghettiOs? Our next one is this
a good name for it.
This fire dragon looking thing. Everyone's calling it kind of like a Value Mart version of Bubble Bobble. We've got that.
We've got Bubble Bobble.
That great value version of Bubble Bobble.
Have we run out of ideas? There's like 12,000 Pokemon.
There are. Have we? Yeah, I mean, we just come back around, right? We just pick an animal that exists and then.
Oh, Dank Kitty.
Dank Kitty, I like that.
Dank Kitty is perfect.
Yeah, and right, and then the final one is this airline pilot duck. That's
not his hair.
Yes, but he looks like so everyone's making Donald Duck memes, right? So
sure.
I'm totally going with Donald Duck. F the haters. So am I, actually. If I do play this, I think the duck is my go-to. Look at that face.
Water? No, you always go fire. You go with the Jojo Duck.
Jojo Duck.
Quoxley dude, he rules.
Quoxley dude. Totally. I dig it. I mean, it's that's all we've gotten. We don't, and then we got some screenshots and a little kind of swoop in video showing, the gameplay, but it won't launch till fall. It's
the first open world. Is that what I understand it to be? So
Arceus that just came out as an open world, but it didn't look very good, like visually, but it's still a good game. It kind of set this foundation. So the foundation that they laid with that game is what they're building this one on.
Gotcha.
Which is kind of a big deal.
It's
interesting though, because this is now the 3rd game that Game Freaks, has put out. For the Pokemon Company, this is a big deal. They haven't stopped working. They put out They put out the one before Arceus, and then they brought out Arceus at the beginning of this year, and now they're launching another one. This is 3 Pokemon game back to back to back. Like it's pretty impressive. I think everyone's like, "Whoa, slow down."
How come folks don't get mad at them for doing that, right? Because it feels like it's just more DLC.
It's Pokemon, man.
It's just Pokemon.
There's always going to be one of those like, well, it's okay. It's Pokemon.
This is turning into COD for them. They're going to have to bring on a second studio or slow down. Right?
Yeah, Rob. So I think that's a big conversation, right? Like we don't know how big they are. I guarantee you, it's like multiple teams. It's you've got a team that was working on Arceus that was working on what was it, Diamond and Pearl? I can't even remember the last
Shield
ones that came
Sword?
out. No, Shield and Sword were before that. And then they had the remakes of Diamond and Pearl. I think is what it was.
Pokemon cashes in. Yeah, it cashes in on the. We like to think of them as fanatics, right?
Or as
I love that stuff.
Fandom. I don't know.
But it does nothing but print money. Yeah, Pokemon definitely does. Shining
Diamond. Yeah, there we go. It was Diamond and Pearl.
Dan's our knowledge.
I don't even remember. They came out, and then right after that, Arceus launched. I felt like there was no breather time between the 2 releases.
Yeah, I remember it being like back-to-back Pokemon, and me thinking like, which one do I get if I want to get back into Pokemon, and then not getting either one. Right, that was my.
Yeah, Dan. So those came out in the fall, right? If I'm not mistaken, those came out in the fall, and then right after the holidays, in the beginning of this year, Arceus came out. So we've had. Like I feel like any game that comes out in the fall is supposed to get, especially a game as big as Pokemon, usually gets a cooldown period. Like you're playing it through
the holidays. Time to play it, enjoy it.
Yeah, you're running through it. You're maybe running through it a second time with a new team, that sort of thing. And
I don't have any time for that. It used to be like you get a good, like there was like 3 or 4 big chunky games you can play like over a year. Now there's like 10 all dropping at the same time.
Right. Well, I mean, one of the big jokes with Elder Ring was that it launched the week after Horizon did.
Yeah, like
And
there's
so
no.
two big open worlds, which took the thunder completely away from Horizons. And it happened again to them because the first time, the first game, Zero Dawn, launched 1 week before Zelda Breath of the Wild
Brutal.
and the Switch. So it was like
it's just like Breath of the Wild.
just like Breath of the Wild. I mean, it was one of those scenarios
I
where
mean, they
like,
got a second game out of it, so it's not like it's a franchise killer. They're just trying to.
no, yeah, right. It just it took a lot of thunder, right? Like right now, I would still be watching all these playthroughs and videos and screen caps.
Instead, it's just Elden Ring.
That's not all I'm seeing.
This is Destiny 2 Erasure. Which what? What?
Who?
What?
Who? What? Huh?
I can't. My buddy Goashner goes playing it. My brother just got into it. I'm like, what are you doing playing this? Come on.
People still play Destiny?
Yeah. They just dropped the newest one, right?
What's Destiny 2? Yeah, they did lose Game of the Year last year. Yeah, I mean, again, there's lots of things. Yeah, exactly. Donkey talked about it on his channel. It just completely snuffed out. Just like, meh, forget about it. We're moving on to Elder Rings.
Brutal.
Now. And yeah. It's tough. It's tough. What else? Okay, yeah. One of the stories that we talked about last week, we're almost at the end of the show.
Yep.
Last week was Futurama got announced. And
that's right.
One of the things that the controversy that was going on was John DiMaggio was kind of like, yo, guys, I'm not part of this.
No one talked to me about this.
No one's talked to me about it. And you could see Disney scrambling, right? Because it's a Hulu remake. Or it's a Hulu reboot. I don't know what we call it.
It's a Hulu reboot, but Disney owns Futurama?
Well, yeah, because it's Fox.
Jesus Christ.
Just like they own The Simpsons, right?
Why aren't we banning them like Tencent? It's because they're dropping Moon Knight at the end of March.
Dropping Moon Knight, right? Shh. And Obi-Wan. And
oh, you know what? I'll boycott them at the end of April. After all,
I'll boycott them at the next thing. Oh wait, the next thing. They know what they're doing. They don't give you enough chance to hate them.
Oh, is the Mid-Geek crisis?
Not yet.
I fucking wish. You
know how people say there's no price tag on love? Oh yeah, there is, sir. There totally is.
I don't know what it is, but I'd love to find out what the price tag is.
Yeah, man.
So Leo says they're about to ruin Futurama. I mean, they're probably going to make it for the next generation, right? I guess. I don't know.
You know, I don't know. That's a monkey paw. Go Astronaut. Like, I love the DCU. I love DC and I love their properties, and I'm excited for the Batman, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But at the same time, I think the management at Warner Brothers has no freaking clue what they're doing. They've got their heads so far up their butts on like the idea of a unified movie universe, the idea of like doing things in their own way. They want to follow suit, but they want to do things different. They never execute all the way. So if they bought something like a show like us, like I'd be like, I don't know if I would accept it. Like, what are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it? It's so weird.
Well, they'd make our first run grim dark and put James Gunn in charge, and
that's fair.
It would just change. It would change all of the stuff we've done.
All the colors are saturated and gritty, right? It looks like it was film.
I don't know.
And then everyone like, you know, they're like bring back the Snyder cut of the Mid-Geek a few years later.
The Snyder cut, Jesus Christ. Specialization overrated asked, does Futurama need to come back though? Really? So it's just another season, right? It's like,
yes,
it's like a
Specialization. You're right. We talked a little bit about this last episode, and you're right. Does it need to come back? No, it doesn't. But it's also what my argument was. Futurama was one of those shows that because it's set in the future, it's always progressing into the future.
Yeah, it can always stay on topic.
So it's going to make fun of things that happened in 2020, 2021. Kind of like South Park makes fun of things that happened. Like it's a topical show.
Yep.
Futurama will not have a chance to make fun of that stuff. Like The Simpsons made fun of things like Apple and the iPod and the iPhone and all that kind of stuff. Futurama is going to do the same. And for them to make fun of old technology to them when it's new technology to us, I think there's room for that type of comedy.
There's a lot of potential to play around with it. They also do all sorts of time travel, flashbacks. They can play around with everything there.
So, and as long as you've got the core elements, you've got John DiMaggio,
He's back.
Billy West. You've got Katie Siegel as Leela. You've got all the main pieces of the puzzle, and you get some new blood, new writers. As long as it doesn't go in the future, the Family Guy route, I think we can. I think it could be. It could be funny.
Work.
It can work.
Chris Martin does not care about anything we are talking about.
So let's talk about the Amico. Let's talk about it here. So I'm trying to figure out this news here. Did you hear that they had to end their Start Engine, their new fundraiser? They ended it prematurely, and their new CEO literally threw people under the bus. They were like, it's because of social media and the haters, which is why we didn't get the money that we were supposed to get this round.
Chris, you're on a hill all by yourself, man, and it's like a little hill that you don't want to die on, my friend.
Oh, he'll die on it. Just no one will know he died because no one goes to that hill. They're like, where did Chris Martin go? And they find his body, a couple years later.
Yes, just like the Applebees.
Yeah, millennials killed the Amico.
I mean, I don't think anybody that watches our show or talks to us or anybody I know was like a big fan of the Amico, gave them money, but I just want to. I think they're going to take your money and run, everybody. Like, it just has all the signs of vaporware. They've even closed their fundraising. And as you read this, what is the guy's name? Sam Makovich, his Twitter handle. So as you read his sort of Twitter thread about this, I linked off this article. It seems to me like they timed this just to get the money they could get, right? It's pretty intense.
The campaign ended today, 2 months ahead of the original date, at 1% of its target fundraising goal. My 1%. Guess is,
and it closed down a day after the soonest you can close down and get money, right? So like they waited the minimum amount of time to get that money. Oh, wait, Chris, come on, man. I'm not ordering it. I was just stating a fact. The N64 is just that bad.
It's not, buddy. It's not. You're on this hill. I get the hate, but The N64 it did not age. It aged like fine cheese left out in the sun, but it's still fine cheese.
It's still fine cheese. Still fine cheese. Yeah, they only had cash in July. Now they can stay alive till August 2nd. I wouldn't be surprised if they shut their doors well before July. Right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
And be done with that.
This is one of those scenarios where I'm just like, I can't believe we're not getting this console. It's never launching. It's never coming out.
Do you think anyone's going to buy this tech? Like, is someone going to buy this tech?
No, what tech? What did they bring to the table?
Jim, Joe, Earthworm Jim. Wait, is that what it's called? What is it called again?
Yeah, Earthworm Jim. Yeah, Earthworm Jim 4.
4. Yes, that's what it's all about.
We literally have one clip of that show.
He said it's stinky cheese.
We've literally had one clip of that game.
Everyone lost their money. This is always a danger with crowdsourcing.
Yes,
sort of thing.
Everyone lost their money.
Everyone lost their money, except I imagine the executives who took your money.
Oh, of course. But I mean, that doesn't mean that they're not like $8 million in debt or something like that. I think is what the last.
They're ludicrously deep in debt, but it's not them; it's the corporation.
Yeah.
You can lose your money on Kickstarter. I lost money on Kickstarter. I mean, I've
lost a few hundred on there. It's not, it happens. It's a gamble.
Nikes.
It's a gamble. It's what happens.
Would you support that giant cooler? Was it the cooler that got?
No, never anything like that. I don't remember. I think it's a couple pieces of software that were games or whatever that I put money on, and then they came out, and then like they didn't like meh. Like they were just, it happens all the time. And you support it because
we talked about this like, I want to say not on this show, but like 9 years ago. I think.
Oh yeah.
One of the PAXs, I was like, dude, do not kickstart software launches on Kickstarter. Don't do it. They always go over budget. They're never on time.
Yeah.
It rarely meets expectations. It's never
I still do it. I still do it. I do it because it depends on the software developer, right? Like if it's someone brand new, flash of the pants, and they show up and they're, I might not do it anymore. If this is someone's like third or fourth game and they've
had some success, you show it, yeah.
And then I do it, but
time for Mid-Geek to swoop in and buy the Earthworm Jim.
Man, do you have pocket change? Does anyone have pocket change? I don't.
What will we do with that?
Can anyone break a 50?
I mean, Dan, do you want to buy some NFTs of Earthworm Jim? Because that's how I'd make my money.
Groovy. Groovy.
Get that,
Oh man.
get that groovy crypto, baby. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, no.
Poor Joe. Oh, it's good stuff.
The Mid-Geek. Oh my god. He just imagine
The Mid-Geek Crisis announces the acquisition of the Amico and Television and
Who?
Jim.
Who?
Chris, yeah, it takes no effort. Someone mentioned DC Universe. We got the Amico and the N64. It's easy to trigger Joe.
Yeah, that's my shtick, right? Like I'm supposed to get triggered by this kind of shit. Someone's got to have passion, goddammit.
Yeah, and Pantheon. Yep, $1,000 tier both times.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like how Brandon says a few times. All the kids' college money is on a giant battleship in Star Citizen. That's where it's all gone.
Oh man! Speaking of well, let's pull that story up. Speaking of NFTs here,
thanks for joining us after work. Have yourself a drink and chit chat with us. We were just bashing the Amico and their failure to launch.
So speaking of NFTs, no, this isn't Nintendo launching NFTs. But what's funny here is that I don't know if many of you remember
Club Chivos.
So no, I'm sure people in our comments. Do y'all remember Club Nintendo?
Sure.
It was a kind of a, you buy games, you got a code, you go online, you plug in the code, you get coins, you eventually add up currency, you can buy rewards on Club Nintendo. That went away many years ago. They used to have some really cool exclusive stuff. I've got a couple of trinkets that are pretty awesome from that group. Then it went away. And then it kind of came back in like a whole new form where you were still getting the type of like platinum coins and gold coins, and you can use those coins to buy
like birthday coins.
Yeah, you could like buy them you could buy like wallpapers, or you could even buy like physical things. There was like keychains and all sorts of fun little stuff. Anywho, one of the new things that they announced is launched last night, and middle of the night. They're called Missions and Reward System. And essentially the way it works is you can eventually do these little like tasks and you get coins, right? And then the coins allow you to buy avatar pictures for your Switch.
Oh, that's cool.
So basically, you know that picture you have with your icon on Switch? Well, you can buy ones that aren't preloaded on the system.
So you can buy exclusive ones.
So yeah, they're like exclusive ones. So if you wanted to buy, for example, this one right here, this is Chevre from Animal Crossing. She's one of my villagers, one of my favorite villagers. If I wanted to have her as my avatar, well, you can't if you don't spend the cash on it, or the fake loot, the fake Nintendo money, you won't have her, but you can get her as a avatar. So I mean, it's a fun little thing.
Wait, games right now. Can we enhance on Toad there on Super Mario Odyssey? Is Toad on the toilet? Is that Toad on the toilet? Enhance. Slide over.
No, it's Toad sitting there reading a map. He's like standing. Yeah, he's short enough that he looks like he's on a toilet.
That's an invisible toilet. That's definitely
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
That's good stuff. I like it. Good eyes. Oh yeah, and what is it? Rolls mentioned. What is Rolls? Wasn't Nintendo that got sued for they advertised a Harry Jet for like 10 million points? No, that was Pepsi. It's actually a hilarious story. If you get a chance to read it, a little watch on how not to do it. I think also YoPlate Yogurt had one where you got miles if you pulled off the lids, and someone collected they did the math, and it was cheaper to buy cases of yogurt and throw the yogurt out for airplane miles because eventually you could fly anywhere in the world.
That was when airplane miles were actually worth something, right?
Yeah, it was when they were worth something,
because they're not worth anything now. What's going on, Team Pandora? Yar indeed. I'll talk a little bit about that before the end of the show.
Are we already pirating?
Sort of. Was it Pepsi did the iTunes thing, right?
Pepsi's did iTunes, yep.
That was a fun one. Deal. You could literally walk up to a store and go like this and copy down the code and get yourself free music.
I think they had it on the back of Doritos bags, so people were just like writing down the codes or punching them into their phone at the very start of when you could do that on the phone. People were like, wait, you can connect via your phone? What?
Yeah, as opposed to they thought, so Coke Starlight, who's had this thing? It's been blowing up my news feed recently. They're calling it It was a Coke in space. Like it's supposed to be
Coke
kind of
in
this.
space.
Yeah. It's like see if you can pull it up here. Tastes like one big marketing ploy. What is space flavored Coke? Yeah, so that's that. I mean, I don't know.
What does space taste like?
I don't know.
I'm more interested in Pepsi Nitro.
Thank you. I was about to say that. I was like,
Yeah,
have you heard about this Pepsi Nitro thing?
I'm still a company man. Please buy Pepsi Nitro. My pension is with Pepsi Cola, so I'd like to hold on to that as long as possible.
I'm intrigued by this because I like nitro infused coffee.
Yep.
Like
it's nice and frothy. It's like a soft texture you get.
Yeah, it's definitely got a texture to it. Let's roll this. Oh, well, that's only 16 seconds, right?
I mean, that's enough.
Oh, I can't play the music because it'll.
What I love about this group and all of you is that everyone on this channel probably gets the new Coke joke. I wonder how many folks nowadays even got a chance to try the new Coke. I remember my mom being furious about it.
They're calling it draft cola, right?
Frothy that is. Oh, creamy. Smooth, creamy, delicious. Yes. Specialization is overrated. Are we back to the porn? Yes.
I mean, T, that Pandora, that's exactly right. I mean, they are very weird about that kind of stuff. They just, well, I mean, Japan, knowing that you're in Japan right now, I know that they've got all sorts of funky flavors out there. I mean, I think you can still buy coffee and Coke there, right? They still have the Coke Black or the coffee and Coke flavor still on the shelves out there. That was always a thing. That
do they still have Pepsi Man? Because that was like they had like special caps. The packaging innovation in Japan when it comes to colas is bonkers.
Because they like some fun flavors. They have a different palate, and the palate that works for them is definitely one of those things that is different. They like fruit flavors and all sorts of fun infusions.
I was talking about their ass.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how good that tastes, you know.
Weren't we all?
For enough money here at the Mid-Geek prices, I will do pretty much anything. Just putting that out there.
Oh, y'all are cracking me up. There's a lot of Pepsi hate out there, apparently. Still better than Pepsi. You know, they won the Taste Wars, right? You know that they actually won that hands down. It may have been rigged, but they won it.
Oh, you got some Pepsi lovers here.
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Chance. Thanks for jumping on. Keep buying that Pepsi. All of you should keep buying Doritos. Drink that Gatorade.
Drink that Gatorade.
Drink that Gatorade.
Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew is better.
Mountain Dew now has a hard flavor.
Do they? Well, you know, it's you know, when I was there, I remember them really hardcore discussing whether or not they wanted to get into that market. So I'm intrigued that they decided to go that way. Malcolm Gladwell addressed the Pepsi challenge already. You shut your face, go astronaut, go.
Yeah, it's there.
Dr. Pepper is very good. You know, a good amount of United States Dr. Pepper is bottled by Pepsi bottlers, so enjoy it.
Yeah, it is mostly bottled by Pepsi bottlers for sure. Yeah, this is their hard zero sugar.
What's the next thing we can make hard, Joe? We got to get ahead of the curve here, right? They've already made water hard. Lemonade started it, right? So what's next?
Ask me in about 3 years, and if you can get me hard. No.
Milk is the answer.
Oh, milk was a bad choice. Oh, could you alcoholic? The alcohol just curdles it? It's like
hard milk.
All the alcohol is in the curdles.
It doesn't even sound good when you say it, right? Like it just. I know. We got phrasing. Yeah, just remember. Oh, so we got some correlations and causation, right? The world was fine until water seltzer came out, right? The hard waters came out, and we got bad news. Hard eggnog is great, but not milk. Well, what would it be, right? Like high in protein, healthy, and got booze in it. Get rocked in the morning.
So it'd be like Kahlua milk, right?
It would be like Kahlua milk. Yeah.
Kahlua
milk.
It's exactly creamy. I'm old
White
Greg.
Russian hard milk? Yes.
It is vodka and half and half, right? Or depending on the.
You can like straight from the teat, and you can just pound it. It'd be great. Come on.
So would you you're constantly getting like cows just like wasted, just like bottles of like Everclear tied
Just keep doing that motion, Joe. Keep doing that motion. Someone's gonna clip that for you later. Right there you go. Oh, Chance, my sweet summer child. Why would you type that out loud?
Oh man! All right, so almost at the end of the show here. Let's talk about it. Who's gonna go see the Batman this Friday?
Like in the theaters?
Reviews are out. I've been staying away from them. I've read only a couple bylines here and there.
I don't. You're gonna get terms. We kept it clean. We just said words. That's your dirty mind. Yours. That's on you, buddy.
Be adults, people.
All right, so let's. We got the clip. There we go. So let's. Okay, so you're gonna go to the theater and see Batman?
Yeah.
And is there a new trailer coming out?
Well, this is the newest trailer. I don't want to play audio. I don't want to play with the algorithm tonight.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's looking good, man. The reviews are saying that this is super grounded in the weird, like it's noir. It's got a lot of detective stuff in it.
So he's world's greatest detective as opposed to world's most rich
yeah.
man.
It's also like it deals with a lot of mental health. Like it shows Batman fucking up a lot. He's definitely like new at this whole thing. He's more vengeful. He's angry. He hasn't learned how to temper it.
Who's the villain?
The Riddler, and that's
the Riddler. That's right.
That's Riddler, and that's the Penguin. So that's the Riddler right now. So it's looking good, man. The reviews, I've read good things from the bits and pieces that I've tried to avoid, spoilers and whatnot. Yeah, man, it's
all right. I can get behind that. That could be fun. Brandon's going to Retrofest 8 on Saturday. Brandon, enjoy it. Have a good time.
That's right. Retrofest is going on.
Special Edition is overrated. Got tickets for 3/7. That's Monday or Tuesday. Good day to go.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris is going to. Yeah, look at that Retrofest. Everyone's going to Retrofest. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. They gotta blow other copies on N64 games. Chris is secretly funding a complete in box collection of N64.
He's got to trade in his ticket for an Amico for that N64.
That's right.
And then Chance out here. You don't rile him up at the end of the episode.
They're both DC. Like whatever. Yeah, I mean, this is.
I'll wait till it hits Netflix though, or our preferred streaming service.
It'll be HBO Max, sir. Let's be sure that we
it'll be Plex.
It'll be Plex. Yar, baby. Speaking of Yar, so I mean, if any of you guys follow me on Twitter and on Facebook and whatnot, I posted a couple pictures. I've been kind of cleaning out the game room and setting up the arcade properly.
The arcade looks dope. Makes me jealous. I'm like this close to thinking about maybe potentially moving to Texas.
You tell me what I need to do, and I'll poke
every time towards the end of February, I'm like, why do I live up here? It's cold every single day.
Every single, yeah.
It's the worst.
I mean, so one of the things is Yar. So one of the big pushes here has been there is a specific board that I have been after for a while, and I just picked up. It's a universal board, I guess you could call it. It's the Taito Type X. It is a type of arcade board that the company Taito put out. It's essentially a PC, man. Like it's a processor. It's an Intel processor. It's got a video card in it, and it's got like a security key on it. And that's what they load. That's what Capcom and a bunch of other companies loaded the modern arcade games on. Like if you play Street Fighter 4 or 5 on an arcade machine in Japan, they're not very common here in the US. They would have like this computer, this PC, this Taito
inside the box,
inside of there. Oh, there's an individual
cabinet. Cabinet's what they call it, right? Inside the cabinet.
Yeah, inside the cab. There's an individual called Artax, like the horse from. Was it Never Ending Story? Right? Yeah. Anyway, that's his handle. He put out what's called a multi-image. So he created like a one hard drive image with pretty much all the releases, including a bunch of other games on there. And you load it into this board, and sure enough, you've got like 1,000 games, but they're all like new games. Awesome. And so it's got a cool interface. I'm in the middle of building one of those, and that'll go into the flat panel arcade machine that I've got there. But yeah, Taito, yeah, exactly. Bubble Bobble, they own Bubble Bobble. They've got Elevator Action is one of my other favorite ones that I really like to play. Elevator Action Returns is a great solid platformer looking game. But they own a bunch of Puzzle Bobble in general. I like the Puzzle Bobble games a lot. Those are my puzzle game of choice.
I dig it. And specialization, can you only have arcade rooms in Texas? Yeah, see, up here in New York in the blue state, you need to get a permit.
One of my favorite individuals,
to come in,
friend of the show and a good buddy that I've talked to multiple times. He has a huge arcade in his basement and way more machines than I do. But he also has to deal with stuff like pipes bursting and stuff. And I think he posted last week on Twitter that he had a pipe burst, and luckily he has all his machines on casters, so he can kind of move them around, roll them out, and move them out of the way. But yeah, it's a space situation, right?
Yeah, I don't have much space because that's my Dwarven Forge terrain, right?
He's got space. He could fit amazing machines in there, but
there's no space. I mean,
again, you have to look at it. This is
my kid sleeps in the garage to house all my role-playing game stuff back there.
Right. We are the yin and yang of no, Chris, it's a joke. God, gotcha. God. Nothing riles Texans up like, what? You need a permit in Texas? You don't need no permit.
It's so easy to pew that up, right? Like
it's so easy to rile Texans up.
Of course, you need a permit to get an arcade.
But Pedro and I are very counter. Like, I've got computer parts and arcade machine parts and stuff like that, and electronics rolling in the background, and he's got minis and board games and paper. Yep. So when we get together, we kind of form this Voltron scenario where Uber geeks.
It's a convention led by just Afro Man and Caution.
Yeah, exactly. We just
games, board games, video games all around.
Man,
need to leave that crap.
If only they knew the freedoms that New Yorkers have as well compared to Texans. Let me tell you, there's a couple of things that one or the other.
We only have an hour show, folks. We can compare and contrast the various ways the two states are extremely different.
I love them both. I learned to love New York for lots of reasons.
We've got the Jets, right? So, although they're New Jersey, you've got the Cowboys, right? So there's a little bit of.
You've got the Mets.
Oh, yeah, we have the Mets.
We've got the Rangers,
So this is an excellent question, and I'd love to.
That's a good question. It. Thank you, Specialized.
I've Specialized asked a semi-serious question. How do you keep the kids from messing with your stuff? I have some things that are important to me locked up, but everything else I let her play with. Right, the only way she's going to learn how to be good to these things is for me to monitor, tell her which ones are delicate. So that's what I do. So there are also death threats. Yes. So it's a little bit of both. I remember my dad had a lot of war games, right? And I remember ruining one of them, and he got so mad, right? He just was like, how could you break this game? Now I don't have it anymore. You ripped the board and stuff like that. And it was a lesson for me. So I've already had that lesson with my daughter where she broke two of my Dwarven Forge lights. I told her these things are important. They're daddy's toys. And she's come around to respect them, which is nice. How do you do your video games, Joe?
Yeah, that's so I'm gonna put the question back up there. For me, it's the same. I've got two boys, and
kids break stuff.
I have never been the type of person that hides things away from them.
Yeah,
I don't want to hide it from them because hiding it from them creates curiosity, which then creates them wanting to break into it when I'm not around.
Yep.
All my arcade machines are open. All of my old consoles are open. All of my games are on the shelf. I give them stuff that they play with. They know stuff is daddy's stuff.
Yep.
When they want to play with daddy's stuff, they will say, hey, Dad, can I play that? For example, like my arcade machines. They don't know how to turn them on very well, but they know what games are on it. And a good example is I just loaded up one of the new House of the Deads on the big cab. And so my youngest loves gun games. He loves light gun games. And he was like, he got in the car and I picked him up and it's like, Dad, when I get home, when you get off work, can I play it? And I'm like, yeah, kiddo. And sure enough, he's waiting. He's like bouncing up and down, ready to play. He knows how to hit the button and start it, but he's not going to do it. And that's kind of like the training. And it's I don't want to put it in like they're not dogs. They're humans, and I love them, and I want them to be curious about this stuff. But it's no fun being a parent hiding these things from your kid, being like, no, these are my things. It's no fun. Like
the whole Lego movie was about that. Everybody,
right?
The Lego movie was literally about that. Yeah, that's. So I just want to specification. Put away your soldering station for the baby, right? I think I introduced my kid at 3 years old to the glue gun, right? So the hot glue gun, and so like she knows it. She's burned herself once. She knows it's hot, right? She understands this stuff. She's seen me burn myself really bad with it, right? So and that wasn't on purpose, even though I will pretend it is. So like she's good at this stuff. She gets it, and she takes care of the things she's supposed to take care of. She can use an X-Acto blade now without me worrying, right? She's 8 and she can do this stuff because she's amazing. A little early. Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's like when your dad had the garage with all the tools, right? As long as your dad was careful and told you what to be careful with, she gets it. She knows what's for kids and what's for not. So
right. We talk about
the trick is you show them how safe you are,
right?
And they'll follow your example,
right? And we talk about newer generations not knowing how to do things, and you're right. But it's only up to us. It's up to us to be the teachers. And if we hide things from them, we keep things away from them, they're not going to learn to respect them, because when they get them, it's just going to be new. But having everything out, everything available, all the games and everything, their curiosity will take them to it. Occasionally, they're not even interested in half the stuff that I've got out there anymore. Eventually, they're like, that's just dad's stuff. We don't play with it.
That's just
eventually, they're going to get to the age where they're like, oh, man, holy crap, Dad, you've got that game? I'm like, yeah, buddy, I've got it. Oh, crap, can I play it?
That's rocket. Look, Team Pandora, see, this is made her first PC at 6 years old. Good for her. Good for your kid. That's fantastic. I love it. Go Astronaut Go says, I can't use an X-Acto blade without me work. I'm with you, dude. I mean, like, I have a Band-Aid right here from an X-Acto blade. So, yep. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and again, same thing. Special edition. I've got my soldering iron. They're in my office, but they're daddy's. They're dad's tools, and they know not to touch that stuff. But if there are conversations occasionally like, Dad, can you build this for me? Or, hey, Dad, can we build it? And it's like, we'll sit down and rock it out. Like, we'll do it. We can do it. They know Dad's got the tools to do it. And so you got to catch them and get that curiosity and pull them in. That's how you can teach them. And then that way they learn to respect the tools. And if they see that I've burnt myself or cut myself or whatever, they know what happens.
I mean, there's no greater joy. One of the reasons, there's no greater joy than me having my Door and Forge stuff out here and coming downstairs to clean up and finding that my daughter had played with it for 2 hours when I wasn't watching, and it's all set up in this amazing scene. And I'm just like, this is why I pick up this stuff, and this is what I did when I was a kid with my dad's toys, right? It's pretty sweet. So do it with your kid.
I was
for the record. Someone mentioned video games with kids. Oh, Cuphead, right? Someone mentioned. Oh, there it is. Team Pandora. Mine are playing Cuphead all the time. They're terrible at it. I am playing Spelunky 2 with my daughter, and she is better at it than I am.
Team, that won't be for long, sir. You think that they're bad at it, but they're no better than we would have been as kids. And now both of my kids will sit down and load up Cuphead, and they are rocking it. They are like bouncing up around. They are jumping. They are doing the what is it? The ricochet move off of the parry moves off of stuff constantly. They're like, oh, they also know the trick to, like, when they're playing 2-player, when one of them dies, they like disconnect, reconnect the controller or whatever, and they know how to like bring themselves back in. Yeah, so they know, they're like, oh, turn it on, turn it back on. Okay, go, boom, and they come back in.
Oh my gosh, they
remove player, re-add player, so they remove it, re-add it, and they come back in. And so they're cheesing it, but they know all these tricks, and they're like in tandem, and they have beat Cuphead. They have gone and beaten the devil. So that's impressive. That was like both of them together. They're a force to be reckoned with. And I'm proud.
Joe does not have that Chivo. Joe does not have that Chivo.
I do not have that Chivo.
Yes.
I do not have that Chivo. I have not.
This is what happens when Dad lives the pirate life. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's
indeed, sir.
They learn connect, disconnect.
They know how to VPN, baby.
Get rid of their cookies.
Man, it's just one of those, like, they're able to do it because they've got brothers, right? Like it's brothers working together and getting it done. And I don't have it. I haven't sat down and played it by myself to kind of like power through it. I've beaten Hades. I can say that.
Wait, did you like all 50 endings?
So not all 50 endings. I'm like multiple endings already for sure. But yeah,
I guess you got to beat it a certain number of times before you unlock the true ending. I haven't gotten
right. You have to. There's a certain path, right? Like you have to like the realizations that happen.
Level you have to do to get there.
Yeah,
I haven't done it. I keep waiting for the physical Cuphead for Switch someday.
Someday, man. Someday it'll happen. It'll happen now that they've announced the DLC and that's got a date. So it's happening.
All right,
everyone. We're hour and 10 minutes into the Mid-Geek Crisis. Thank you so much. I love the conversation. Love that question at the end there. Specialization. That's a perfect ending to the show there. Right. Like it's definitely one of those games that might be easier to play. There we go. I haven't played it. I have it on the Switch, but I haven't sat down and played it on the Switch. So, I haven't played it in handheld mode.
Thus ends our EP portion of the Get Good Mid-Geek Crisis.
Get good, baby. Go play your Elven Scrolls or whatever game it's out there right now.
Elden Ring. It is
Elden
not Skyrim,
Ring?
Even though it could be Skyrim if it had mods, right? It's good stuff. Thanks everyone for jumping on. Team Pandora, Roll, Specialization, Rio, everyone that's jumped on. It's always wonderful having you on. Dan, the Knowledge, Chance, and if I forget your name, it's not because I don't like you, it's because I'm getting old. Right.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share. Again, one more real quick. Let's prod for Ukraine. Let them make sure that everything goes well. If you've got anybody you're following, go give some love in that direction. Mm-hmm. Stay warm. It's warming up everywhere in the world. Like, subscribe, share again. Another episode in the can. Take care, everyone.
Be kind.